Welcome back to the series that nobody asked for, not even me, about all of the trillions of notebooks that I have about ZCN and Friends. Because I've been working on this series for billions of years, and I have way too many notebooks of stuff that I've written down. So this is the most important one. This is the book that really matters. This is the entirety episode timeline of every single book ever. So, who's this? Oh. Alright, so this is the book that is most important for me. So, everyone made fun of me because I had a series planned where I would have 23 books in the series. And the joke's on them, because I still haven't finished them all. So, we have 966, but later on, I think that is 900, it's 966 episodes. So that's what all of this is. So we start off here in book 1. I have changed it. So it's not 23 books anymore. Thanks, Don. It is now like 13. Okay? It's 13 instead of 23. I worked really hard to bring it down to 13. So it's different now, but most of this is still kind of the same. So it's interesting to look at. But like there were moments, and you can see here with me like drawing lines and that, all of this, all of these, I turned into one chapter, but that's not true. Actually, it's more like this and this and this and this and that, like whatever. But like I wrote notes in that for the revision, so some stuff I ended up bringing down, and then later on I was like, well, I could bring that back and expand it a little more and add on and stuff like that. So, but there were lots of episodes here where I was like, that's like literally just 2 sentences. Why do we have like a full 30-minute anime episode devoted to that? But and yes, I framed everything as episodes because I didn't want to write books, but here we are. So this is book 1, and it had what, 36. End of season 1, 36 episodes. End of book 1, 36 chapters, you can see. So, we got all this. Most of it is the same, because this is actually done. So, we do this. All of this kind of goes together. These go together. But, like, you can kind of see how it used to be. But now, I don't know, do I have a chapter list that I can kind of show in comparison? I didn't do a chapter. There we go. So now it's 24 instead of 36. Even though 36 is the magic number. Or whatever. So 24. I mean, kind of, you can see kind of there's like similar names in that. Right? Like we got Scene Hotel. We got First Battle with Ema, right? No, I just call it Water versus Fire. Crazy Tours in there. But this, the fun part about looking through here is seeing all the wackadoo titles that I came up with. Like this one, Too Much Information, with a 2. Explain yourselves. Like nothing ever happened. My favorite is Warp Speed, because that's the name of the different teams, but you know, it's also fun. Then School Days, okay, Worlds Apart, isn't that up there? Whatever. Okay, some of these are like to the start of book 2, so I don't know why. Okay, you can tell some of these are just anime titles. And then, so over here is the titles of all the chapters, episodes, whatever you want to call them. And then over here is like a short description. So we'd say, like, they go to apply for a job. I'm only like 12 years old. Friends take on a tour of AV City via the tour line, wanders off behind Seat Hotel. Afterward, okay, so we got like kind of some information here. This This is book 2, and it's extremely complex because I have to keep track of, like, what events they're doing for the Olympics, how many points and stuff they have so far. So there's, like, a lot of trash going on over here. And I also have, like, all the blue stuff is from the revision, so everything is, like, crossed off and being like, no, we're not going to do this anymore, add some of this stuff. So, so that little blue was later on, the blue ink was later on. Okay, but you can kind of see here that. So book 2 used to be 2. That's confusing. The Olympics, the Kids Olympics series used to be 2 different books. So this was book 1, and it is 55 episodes. Trash. And then we get into book 3. And that was an additional, 36? Because 36 is the magic number. And so, what I did is I combined them together instead. So now, these are both book 2. It's just Warp is one book for the Kids Olympics. And there's a lot of junk. Like, there's a lot of junk in here that doesn't need to be here. So, it makes a lot of sense that I just kind of combine them all together. What are some hilarious titles we got? We got Year of the Crab for a crab walking event, because that's a thing. It takes a lot of skill to crab walk a marathon. We got Faraday Prosperity. Okay. Christmas break is finally here. Silly events, not so silly results. Okay. What else we got? So this is the other one where they add on, and Onyx shows up in the other thing. Okay. Rock and the Bones. Okay. So yeah, it's not super interesting because there's. So this is original book 4, now book 3, which I do not like that it is 3 instead of 4, but whatever, c'est la vie. This is 8th grade, the worst time of my life. And, of course, well, it was 45 episodes originally, but I was able to pare it down to 22, which is the magic number. 22 is the magic number for 8th grade. So I'm really proud that I was able to make it 22 chapters because I still find numbers significant. So, originally though, it's super dang long. Like, there's a lot of trash in here that we do not need. Okay, Baking Up Fun. We got Uplifting Spirits and Preparation of Power. Let's start that, and then what? We just do random junk until the end? Like, the climax happens and then there's just like 10 chapters of nothing? I always do that. I don't know why that's a big thing that I would do, is be like, okay, the big dramatic thing is over, now we just have like filler episodes until the end. It's like none of this is important. None of this, absolutely none of this is important. And then we got original book 5, now book 4. I was combining these two at first, but now I decided to split them apart again. So this is its own thing again, because I feel it's important to add on to like the lore and world building and all that kind of stuff. And lots of stuff happens. It also helps to flesh out my feelings of trauma and Xena dealing with like the Angel of Battle and everything. So that's what this is about now. But originally it was just basically the Naruto tournament arc is what Power School was originally. So it's just a whole bunch of interesting kids showing up with interesting powers. And you get to learn about all the other worlds and stuff. Alright, 5 had a fan group that was weird. Okay, that's also 36 episodes, that's pretty funny. And then we get into Classic, which is book 6. And I'm mad that it is now book 5 instead of book 6, but whatever, c'est la vie. But this is the best part. This is the best part. This is also when lots of trash happens, but that's what makes it the best part. This is also when 12 by 12 shows up, and that's why it's the best book. So we got all that. It is... See, I just went through and started episodes, and I'm like, okay, it'll be 27 chapters, because I started 27 chapters. Originally, it's 48 episodes, and I decided that 27 of them were important enough to keep. Here, sorry, not even showing you that. Originally, it was 48 episodes, and I decided only 27 of them were important enough to keep. And the entirety of the first 6 books was 256 chapters, which again was a significant number, but whatever. And then we get into ties, and that's why it's called the ZCN Ties series. So, ties has, what, 5 books? No, one? Only 1 book? I thought ties had more than that. Wait, it's back here. That's why. It's back here, I forgot. Okay, so we added it in back here. Here we go. Ties has 5 books, but I changed it to be only 2. Because that's too much garbage. How many chapters is Ties? Does it say 118? No, that's how many I kept. 198. 198 chapters. Alright, well, this is a lot of stuff that won't make sense. And look at all the notes. Look at this. Oh my trash, look at this. I can't even understand what's going on. But I pared all this down into 2 books, and I'm still working on it. Because it is hard to take all of this stuff and put it into... Look at all of this garbage. Oh, goodness. There's a lot of stuff that happens. But there's also a lot of stuff in here that doesn't happen. So, we don't really need all of this. But this is the most important thing for me to have to, like, keep track of, like, all the episodes and what happens and all the significant events and that, so I just like looking through this. It's very fun. Oh, and I have the revised ones. We're gonna get to the revised ones. Hold on a second. We still have to go through these. Okay, so then we get into the later books. This is just called the later series. So we start with 1. 1 is the best. Later 1 is the best. But again, it's just not going to make any sense just showing it to you now. And then I turned later 2 and 3 into 1 book. Those are the ones where they go to all the different worlds and that, so there is like no information here. Okay, alright. And then we got later 4, 5, and 6. And I am still working on those because it is overly complicated, and it is also way too triggering for me to write, so... we got... Okay, this is when the kids start to show up. Everybody grows up and has kids and stuff because, you know, that's what happens. So, I kind of made it where it's like 4 and 5 are together, and then there's 5 and 6. So, whatever. Instead of there being 12 books for later time, it is more like 5. It's more like 5 of them. There's like, especially here, there's just like ridiculous stuff. There's like random dogs, cartoons and stuff. I mean, I know they're like 4 years old, but whatever. Look at all this stuff. This is insane. There's some pretty hilarious titles in here if you look for them. It's like Happy Love Life 101. Tough choices, that's responsibility. Oh, gracious. Okay, I added a multicolor pass because that's the best episode. Real Family Ties. That's an interesting one. I do remember that. Okay, and then we get to original later 8, which is the best one. This is the only one that matters. And I combined 8 and 9 together because they are the best ones and the only one that matters. But look at all of this. Again, this is just ridiculous. Okay, and then 10, 11 are put together. So we got those. And then 12. Later 12. So, in the end, it doesn't even matter because I changed it. We got it with just this. These 2 are 1 episode, or 1 book. Oh my gosh. then this one, then this one, this one. This is all 2 books. So then we got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I guess it's 15 books. Okay, it's 15 books. Then actually there's 2 others that I add on, but we will not discuss those. So it's a lot of junk. It's a lot of junk I had to do. Here's the nice organized new ones. Even this is 36 episodes, and I did not do that. I only did 24, as you can see. So still, this is not the official. So this is just me trying to organize everything later on. This is like this first revision or whatever. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff that I got rid of. So this is better to look at for times, because at least it's in order. It's not as long. It's still 5 seasons. Oh my gosh. Okay. Got all of these. Okay, these are the very nice and organized ones. These are the ones that are most important to look at. But again, this isn't the final thing. That is different. But it's so nice to look through this. It's nice and organized and everything. Here's an extra one, so there's 16 books now. But this is the most important notebook that I had, the one that I consulted all the time, so I haven't looked at it in a while, and it's kind of nice.